Hey everybody, and welcome back to Space Engineers Quest for Peas, episode 6 already. Where does the time go? Yes, we are back in Satisfactory, and as you can tell, we have picked a location. So let me hop back into my character here, and let's have a talk about what is the plan for today. So, last episode, we finally found a lake where we want to call our own home. Hey, look, I got an unknown signal descending over there. So, yeah, we finally made it to the trade station that was off in the distance there. We're now 8 kilometers away from it, but that is the close enough for my purposes. We found a pretty good area. Nice and green. There's lots of plants here. Everything's looking pretty darn good here. So we got a nice temperate zone. Free falling. And ow, didn't stop quite in time. We've got a nice lake here with lots of resources. I've got a crap ton of all the stuff I'm going to need. I got magnesium, nickel, silicone, gold. We've got silver, we've got cobalt, we've got it all one place or another between the lake and between the plains behind me. The lake, of course, has got some nice close ones. More importantly, we have lots of ice for fuel and for water for our farm that we're going to be building. So let's get into what the plan is. So as you can see, I've built myself a little bit of a bridge here. So one of the things that attracted me to this lake was this lovely little kind of boat launch area here. It's nice and easy for driving up and down, which is great. So if we need to access like the various ores and stuff over there, as you can see, I've already started digging some holes. So I put this bridge across, and what my plan, subject to change, is this is going to be the basic production floor. I kind of like the idea of spanning across here, and that's what I want to do, and I'm actually going to keep going that way. But to start off with, I'm just going to start with this bridge here, and the reason I like this kind of having this bridge here is that it puts me kind of right over ice down there. Now, I'm not going to start drilling there. I'll probably have a drill rig out there, but, you know, I can drop a lovely little pipe down here and basically branch off the conveyor system either to like an iron mine, which is not that far away, or a depot there. We can have our ice mine somewhere else. So lots and lots of potential there. And basically what I want to do is build all my production here. So refineries, assemblers, O2H2 generators. Maybe I'll even put my fuel tanks down here, but basically the production floor. I'll then step up and back, so probably kind of right around that area. That's where I'll build next another terrace that'll be connected, and that'll be basically the residential area. So that'll have a nice view of the lake. I'll be able to kind of overwatch what's going on down in the factory here. And then we'll move up again, and that's where we'll come to the farm plots. Okay, so the first thing before we do anything else, we're gonna need to get some power onto this structure. We're also gonna need to get some algae production going, obviously, because, you know, I need to eat. And as you can see, my food supply, I did manage to get some food supply, but, you know, that is gonna run out. So, need to get some power flowing. And we're going to do that using the good old wind turbines. Ooh, there's a lightning going on out there. All right, so I'm going to go with kind of my standard tower here. So let's get some things set up. First off, need to get to my hotbar here. That is my interior wall. Actually, what I need is my truss block. Good old trusty trusses. So we're going to grab a truss block here. No, we're going to put you somewhere else. We're going to put you right there because I want to keep my torch and my grinder on those toolbars. Okay, with the truss block here, one of the things that we have is, of course, we have the cylindrical column. And with any kind of luck, I'm going to have enough bits and pieces in here to be able to start getting some towers up. So let's clear out our inventory. Let's grab a bunch of interior plates and the whatnots. And oh yeah, here comes the rain. And let's start getting a tower lifted. Now, don't need to weld pretty much any of this yet, if ever. But I do need to get some elevation to get it clear of the mountainside. And that hopefully, yeah, that should give me plenty of space in between. So that we can have 2 towers and still have all our production in the middle there. Right. Keep moving up here. So we're going to put some of that in there. And I'm going to put... Yeah, I'm going to kind of get future-proofed it a little bit here. Because I know I'm going to need lots more power at some point than I'm going to initially build. Or I'm going to need certainly more power. Truss block, and then we're going to go with 2 of those. Okay, so now that I've got those there, let's get our turbines. And we're going to put one there. We're going to put... Oh, nope, we can't do that yet. Sorry, my bad. We're going to have to do a little bit more surgery with the trusses, or not surgery, but placement. So we got to put one there. I drop these guys down here. Come around this side here. Get another one there. Another one there. And just to make sure that these turbines do their collision boxes do not interfere with each other. All right. Now we can pop these into place. Again, don't necessarily need to weld all of them up, but I am going to need to get some of these guys welded up right away, because I said I'm gonna need algae farms, and I'm not gonna go just putting a bunch of stuff on the ground. I want to bake an algae tower. All right, so let's get our torch here, and I'm just gonna get this guy up and running. The other advantage, of course, is hopefully I can start charging my rover, because power will always be an issue. Yeah, so much to do now that we actually have a base. All right, let's get these guys welded up. And we'll get this guy here welded up, and that gives me 5. And currently I am generating a crap ton of power. So tower height is good. Clear the hill, that's something you always got to keep in mind of what is around it. But yeah, and super storm going on right now. But at least the storm is not hurting me. Okay, so we have power now going to this grid. Probably gonna want to get some batteries and stuff on it, but that's gonna have to wait, because we need to get some assembler stuff going on now. I don't know if I still have the stuff for the full assembler right out of the way. I do have the large steel tubes. I might be able to go straight to a large assembler, so I'm gonna hope for that. But I'm gonna pull the rover onto the little bridgey there. So we're gonna grab some of these guys here. That little green line is the improvised experimental or improvised engineering, aka the grabby hands. And it's the grabby hands that are activated by hitting R, which just also happens to be, change block size, right? So that's R, and because I'm looking at a small grid here when I hit R, it's trying to grab the rover. So you can see I've got that rover, that green line there, that's the tension I can pull, so that you can actually lift. So if I just drop that block there, turn off grabby hands, I can look at it, pick it up, and actually carry the block. And then, you know, do stuff with it. Like, can I throw it away? Anyway, turn that off. Okay, so I'm gonna back the rover. Yep, I'm going to risk life and limb here, more importantly the rover, by trying to back it up. Got the rotor backed up onto the bridge here. Next thing I want to do is get a connector on the base, and then start getting some machines in. I don't know if I'm going to have enough for the assemblers and whatnot, but as long as I got some of like the large steel tubes, metal grids, maybe I can go straight to. In fact, let's grab our assembler. So we're gonna need that. Oh, that was my tum-tums. I'm gonna need to eat some food here. There we go. So let's get our assembler in place. Maybe we can use the industrial right about there. Everything I'm about to put in place is going to be temporary. That is one thing. I don't want to set this up. I just need to get production going. Okay. Let's get... I have the metal grid. That's good. I can make the motors. Because if I can get this up and running, then I can make any of the parts that I need. I just need the 15 motors. 13 motors. I can make the computers as long as it's the metal grids, and that was the big one. And I have those because I can't make metal grids until I have an assembler of some kind, which I think this guy falls into. So if you check our production here, we just got to wait for this stuff to go. That's a lot of computers. Ooh. May have to go gather some rock from somewhere. Actually don't need that many computers. I only need 11 of them. Really close here. The refinery, I may have to go with just a basic refinery to start off with, which I think will be fine. Come on, displays. All right, so just now to move on to the displays, let's just check the production. Let's get, no. Yeah, there we go. Get those displays going. I'm gonna remove that. Okay, now let's clear that out and resample and put into production. Almost there. One more computer, then there it is. Okay, good. Excellent. We've got our full-size assembler. I need to connect this up so the rover can charge now. So I'm just going to move forward a little bit and we'll set our handbrake. Yeah, do not get out on this side of the vehicle. Okay, so to hook up, we're going to need... Let's just go with... yeah, I'm probably just gonna have to drop the wheels, and I'm gonna put an inset so I can have access there. Grab their steel plates. Let's come over to this side here and put motors into production. See what I got for ingots, and throw all of my ingots over into the other side. So I'm gonna need there's my iron, nickel, am pretty much out of silicon. But I can at least get these guys. And then we'll just put those in. Okay, can I get you to make those computers? No, I am completely out of silicon. Okay, where do I want to dig some stone? That's not going to affect... And that's the other thing I almost need. I don't want to do a plunge drill just for the stone when I have iron right there, so... Well, we'll just have to take it all as it comes. No doom voxels. Okay, I'm gonna have to get this into the survival kit. Make sure I got a bunch of these things ordered up. And I just want to get these motors made. Alright, so I still got it on there? Yes, I do. I'm just going to throw the production in. And it's starting to make my computers. Hopefully I have enough silicon now. Yes, yes I do. Okay, and that gets the connector done up. Now let's see what it takes to get this thing to hook up to the truck. So I'll just back up a little bit, move forward a little bit, give it a little steer, and drop a squat. And there we go. Okay, and we'll set our batteries to recharge. Okay, now that that's hooked up, next thing is to get a basic refinery in. I can now pull stuff straight through, which is nice. So yeah, always based... I would like to avoid... Are you a tank? Nope, you're an OH2 generator. Having to kind of go through the basic machinery, but sometimes you just don't have a choice. So let's get a refinery. I just want the old basic refinery because I can build that a lot easier. Grab my torch and pull the parts that I need. Make sure the build planner is clear. Let's get that clear and put stuff into production. Come on, machinery. And that gets me my basic refinery, which means I can now start grabbing some ore and not have to rely on stone, which is nice. Okay, next things we're gonna need, and just gonna keep kind of expanding as I go here. Let's put a bunch of these guys into production. So I'm just holding down the shift key and middle mouse clicking, and then if you hold the control, it doubles that from the build planner. All right. Okay, so like I said, what time is it? It's 23. I've got lots of time before the sun rises to get this built. So next priority is going to be getting some algae production going. And I think what I'm going to do here is not overly complicated. And by that, I mean I'm going to put a junction in right here. I'm going to put a conveyor junction there. I was a little agoraphobic. Just kind of hanging out over an edge of something. Alright, I'm gonna put 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's start with 4 of those. Let's see where I have all my food production stuff. I know I probably have it somewhere. Well, there's my food producer, which has only got connections on the back and the sides, and I don't want to block that. So let's not worry about that right now. Let's get this stuff welded. I don't have any little assistants running around to do the work for me, so I'm going to have to do it myself. Okay, so let's sample. Sample, 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 sample. Oh. Build planner capacity reached. And let's put all of that into production. Eat another bag of crisps. And let's see how that's gonna go. And I'm out of iron. Okay, so looks like I gotta go do some mining here. I'm gonna transfer as much as I can from the rover into this guy's connector here. So we'll start just tossing everything into, there we go, inset connector. Didn't need to take that at the industrial, but medium cargo. We can actually probably make a little bit of food, and that connector is not full yet, so we can keep going. Get all this out of here. Leave the O2 alone. And let's get the survival kit emptied. Okay, so everything's into this connector, at least until I can get myself some more storage, but you know, a connector is basically a small storage tank, cargo pod. All right, empty the connector, because again, don't need to be carrying any of that here. And there we go. So I have a nice empty truck that I can unlock, take off of charge, take off the handbrake, move forward, raise the wheels, and I'm gonna go get a load of iron. Okay, iron. You Where do I want to start digging? I guess we can just start digging right here. So what I like to do is kind of find the center of it. Point my crosshairs right at it. Yeah, I realize it's, you know, a large node, but it gives me a target to just go straight down. Not concerned. That's really loud. That thing is really loud. There we go. I am well into the iron. Went a little bit deep, just because. So I do a nice straight down shaft here because I'm again thinking about automating. I'm not going to hand mine all the iron I'm going to need. What I'm doing is hand mining enough that I can get a drill down here of some kind, some sort of system for automatic mining. But in the meantime, I can just manually collect. Use my jetpack to get out. If I didn't have a jetpack, of course, I could make a little ramp and deposit that. I'm gonna move the truck just a little bit more conveniently, like so. And again, hit my handbrake and mine some more iron. All right, and that is it. This is one full truck. So we got 10,000, 8,000, 27,000. So yeah, I think I got enough ice to go. Did pick up some stone while I was in there. I wasn't being too critical because I could always use the nickel and silicone for the moment. All right, let's take our full up truck and try to get back to the base. All right. Be nice when I get a proper garage put in, which would be a little bit more easily accessible. This is purely a temporary connection just until I can get the proper production up and running, which may take a little bit of nothing. Drop the wheels. And back her up and grab on and locked. Okay, so that should get the refinery going. How are we doing on power? So let's look at our turbines now that the storm's passed. So optimum output is 400 kilowatts. I am currently producing 371 on that one, 371 on that one. That's excellent. All combined, I'm getting 1.92 megawatts. I just need to get the rest of these guys, and I think I'm good for power for a while. The refinery is currently burning through 330 kilowatts. My assembler is currently burning through, yeah, so I'm only using 900. So I think I'm good for a little bit power-wise, so nothing there too critical. Let's finish getting our food production up and running, and we can throw stuff I couldn't take. All right, is there anything in my build planner? Yeah, there's lots of stuff in the build planner. Let's just clear that out, reset, and grab some stuff. All right, how we doing in the assembler here? Come on, give me my stuff, man. Nope, okay, so that's this guy. Now we can start focusing on these guys. Okay, we got a few more of these welded up here now. That one, and just not quite enough for that one. It's 3 in the morning. Again, I'm trying to get my algae farms. I'd like to have them up and running before the morning. How we doing here? Just about got all my motors. And why do I not have all my motors? Where did everything go? Come back here with my stuff. Okay. Grab that. A few more. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. That's everything now. And there is the connections. Again, I'm pretty much everything here is going to be temporary. Like I say, I have to figure out some sort of garage. Maybe actually, no, I don't know. Pretty much my idea got as far as bridge here, habitat there, farm there. The details haven't quite worked that out yet, so we're going to still have to work some of that problem solving out. But that's the fun. Okay, let's get our algae farms put in. And again, I'm just going to use these kind of basic ones to start off with until I can get a more kind of layout figured out. So I can put up my basically solar tracking algae farms. Did the proof of concept back at the first base way back in was it episode 2 or episode 3, and it worked really well. But yeah, before I set that up, I want to just make sure I have food going, and then I can kind of start getting things a little bit better laid out. Alright, so that is my algae farms all up and running. And of course, none of them are going to be producing anything yet because, you know, nighttime. Turbines are going like hell, though, which is good. Let's get our food processor in now. So the food processor, where are your ports? So your ports are on the back. The back, and on the bottom, and on the top. Okay, good. That works out well for what's going on here. Well, we can just grab ourselves another conveyor, and we'll need these pots for it. Let's just make sure I have nothing in the build planner, so I can put this over here. Please, may I have some stuffers? Dear, please. There we go. That's got that. And now I can grab that. Alright, so that's got my food processor up and running. Let's get some more, I don't fall to my doom, blocks in, so we can just get a little bit more floors happening here. Here we go. And, yeah, just now gotta wait for daytime. I'm gonna get out of the rain and go sit in my truck. Okay, the sun is rising, and these guys are getting some sunlight now. Still not producing anything, which is a little bit, come on, please. I don't know if the storm has anything to do with it, but you can see the sun is well and good and up. Now I just need to wait for the weather to clear, hopefully. Alright, in the meantime, what's next? I think what's going to be next is just to keep running the bridge across here. And eventually I'll need to weld this all up, but I'll try and hopefully find some more automated system for doing that. Like a little tiny truck with a welder on it or something. Not a big fan of hand welding large swaths of floorage. Okay, so we're gonna have that there. About where would the center line be? Well, we can line it up right about here. Gotta put a key block right there. And that's going to kind of give me an idea of where the center line is, so that as I'm laying the rest of this out, I know which direction to go. And in fact, we can extend this now this way. And I'll get some kind of structural looking thing underneath here to make sure that nothing looks like it's just magic floating. Even though there's absolutely no kind of gravity stresses or anything like that we have to deal with here, it just looks better when things don't just kind of hang on space from one little, like some cross braces or something going down there, probably using girders. All right, so let's just get ourselves kind of a first area. Maybe something a little bit like that. Come on, how we doing over here? Could we have the storm go away anytime soon? Which power are you using? Oh, jeez Louise! Help, 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 help. Help. Hi there. Can I help you? Okay. Let's just get out of his reach. Maybe come up here. Yeah. I got a wolf on my ass. Well then. Rifle's in the truck. Oh, gosh. How many are there? Okay, not creepy. Not creepy. Nope, not at all. Not creepy. Cool, thank you. Hey, Mika, shoot some... Okay, where'd he go? There he is. Really? Where'd he go? I need his body. I mean, if I have to kill him, at least I can get some food out of him, which is excellent. Yay. Of course, I had to shoot out my freaking floor here. So let's get that patched up. There we go. All right, it's sunny now. Can we get some production going? Yes, we finally have some production. It ain't much, but it is enough. So these four will make me... Yeah, so every time these guys tick over, because there's four of them, I should get a crisp out of it. Now, is there any food I can currently make? So making food here is basically like an assembler. You go into production. These are all your recipes that you have. These are for producing seeds. So right now what I can do is I can take this cooked mammal meat. So I picked some of that up. And if I throw that mammal meat... Oh, I gotta get more storage access. Into here. So there's 3 there. And then we run over here. And look at production, you can see that it's pulled them in and is now cooking up that raw meat. So I now have 3 raw meat. It doesn't give me much this way, but I actually have enough Ooh, I have enough. 1 grain, 1 vegetable, 1 mushroom, 1 fruit, and 1 mammal meat. I can make a full meal. I'm going to sacrifice some of my seeds, but you know what? That is okay, because I can eat. I can make sure I have enough food to last for the rest of the day just by staying on some crisps occasionally. So that is 10% health, 100% food. Chop that down. Watch my food meter go all the way up until these guys actually start producing at a reasonable level. Yes. Okay, so that is on a nice sunny day. That is our base starting to lay out, which is good. Gonna need to put in, like I say, our industrial. Start thinking about how we're gonna gather all of our resources. Probably gonna need to do some changes or completely rebuild a rover to go basically build a panel truck or a cargo truck so that I can go collect resources, get a mines placed in. So yeah, lots to go, but at least we finally have a foothold with a little bit of food production. Very little, but again, it's still quite early in the morning. Hopefully I can get enough algae to get some more algae packs there. But right now my food is nice and high. I can even go over to my truck here and charge everything up. Fully loaded. There we go. We're essentially at full health. Look at our buffs. We're full good. So things are looking up. No more starvation, I don't think. And yeah, we're going to be able to get the farms going. Maybe not soon, but they will happen. We know where we're going. We know where we are. We got power. And we'll have food, and we've got a really awesome view. But that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Once again, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. If you like what you saw, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, maybe consider hitting the old subscribe button. These videos are available to members 5 days early, so these will go out for the public on a Friday, but they will be available on the previous Monday if you're a member. If you want to become a member, you can hit the join button below or click on the link in the description. But for now, that's going to be it. The only thing left to say is to say, hey everyone, be safe out there. Try to be good. But most importantly, have a great day. Bye-bye.